Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to EnglishEverest.com IELTS Writing Task 2 video. Today we're going to look at how to develop your paragraphs. So we're going to look at issues and how to resolve them. One of the main issues I see as a teacher of IELTS writing is where students do not develop a paragraph in a logical order. When you expand on an idea, you need to ensure that each point links back to the previous point and that they all link back to the main point, which is the topic sentence. This shows the examiner that you know how to develop a point. And this is one of the main criterias for scoring. If you don't develop well, you will get a lower score. Not a low score, but a lower score than you would get if you developed the idea fully. So, excuse me, let's have a look at some examples. Okay, we're going to use a simple statement that's not particularly related to any IELTS question, just as an example, so we can just focus on that. Vegetables are good for your health. A statement which most people agree with. By the way, you do not have to agree, you only have to develop your opinion. So if you disagree with this, you would also have to say why. So we imagine we want to expand this statement because we agree with it. We have to create 4 parts to our paragraph. I say 4, one is optional, which is the summary, but I always recommend trying to include one. We have our topic, supporting, example and summary. These are: number 1, what are we saying? Number 2, why are we saying it? Number 3, what is an example of it? And number 4, how can we link back to the topic sentence? Those are our 4 things. So here is a paragraph structure, which is basically what we're going to create. So we make our statement. What are we saying? Vegetables contribute a lot to good health for several reasons. Why do we say this? Because. This is the because. They are high in lots of natural things our bodies need, such as vitamins, minerals, and they're free from chemicals. There's 2 things, but chemicals is related to natural things. What is an example of this? As an example, much research has shown that people who eat very few vegetables are more likely to have health problems compared to those who eat more. Things such as carrots, potatoes and cabbage give us all the daily protein we need. Now, I don't know if this is exactly true, but it sounds good. All we're trying to do is give an example of why we think vegetables are good. So the ideas have to make sense, of course, and to me that example does make sense. I did not research it. I don't need to research it. I just need to present it well. And then we have our linking back to the topic. So what we're doing here is just repeating the topic sentence, but we're paraphrasing it. You guys should know paraphrasing by now. So what we're doing is we're saying, so it can be seen that the benefits one gets from vegetables go a long way to promoting good well-being. So this is saying the same thing as this, so it rounds off our paragraph neatly. Moving on. Linking and transitions from point to point. So we begin with our statement, which includes the link to the next point. The topic sentence finishes with, for several reasons. So it's obvious that the next sentence is going to state those reasons. So these are linked together for several reasons. They are, or the main one is. If you're only going to give one reason, you would begin by saying the main one is. And in the exam these days, you don't have to give more than one reason. You just have to give, you can give one and develop it well. That's enough. So after we give our reasons or supporting information, we go to the example. We don't really need to use a linking word. All we need to do is begin the sentence showing the transition. So, as an example, for instance, all of these things tell the examiner, now I'm going to give you an example. After we have provided our example, we summarize. Again, we don't need to link these two together. We just need to clearly indicate our transition words that tell the examiner this is now a summary sentence. As can be clearly seen, as we can see as a result. Then we paraphrase the link, which goes back to here. So here, this is the whole paragraph, and it's linked together and color coded so you can see how everything is pieced together. The topic sentence goes onto the supporting evidence for this, an example of this, and then we summarize, which links back to the first sentence. So this is basically repeating this, as I mentioned before. There's about, I think I counted it, there's around about 90 words in that paragraph. So you think 2 paragraphs of 90 words plus your introduction plus your conclusion should safely see you over the 250 words. Doesn't have to be 90 words, it could be more. Your introduction could be longer. Your conclusion could be longer. But I would recommend that make sure your paragraphs are at least 80 to 90 words, and that will get you up to that magical 250. So going back, the idea is to present, the idea of a paragraph is to present a point or idea, then give information to support that idea or point. It's the same whether you agree or disagree. We could just as easily say vegetables are not good for your health for several reasons, and we're saying the same thing. This can be used regardless of the essay type. So I've given some examples of the other types of essays: advantages, disadvantages, problem solution, cause effect, agree, disagree. To what extent do you agree or disagree? All of these things this structure can be used with all of them. For example, one of the main advantages is, then you state the advantage, then you say why it's an advantage, then you give an example of it being an advantage, then you summarize. Problem and solution. One of the problems is blah blah blah, then you give a reason, then you give an example, then you summarize. That goes for both parts: problem solution, paragraph paragraph, paragraph paragraph, paragraph paragraph, or should I say paragraph. If you agree, you would give 2 paragraphs. If you disagree, you would give 2 paragraphs. Here you would give 2 paragraphs. One would be saying how much you disagree, and the other one would incorporate the opposite side of the argument. Okay, so using the examples you've just looked at, or the example you've just looked at, to practice, I've given you a statement. Children should be allowed to have mobile phones or cell phones. So you decide whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. But all you're really being asked to do here is to practice developing a paragraph. If you agree, say children should be allowed to have mobile phones, don't copy it, obviously, because in the IELTS exam you shouldn't copy it. So you could say something like, kids should have cell phones, paraphrase, for the following reasons, or for one specific reason, you could say. So, and then you support that and say why you think they should have a cell phone. Give an example that demonstrates it. Then you summarize. If you disagree, children are too young to, no, let's say children should not be given cell phones for the following reasons. Something like that. Again, I'm trying to think quickly here because I don't want the video to be too long. So you say why you don't think they should be given cell phones. That's your supporting. Then you give an example that demonstrates why they shouldn't be given one. Then you summarize. So that's the whole structure. It doesn't change for any essay. You should practice developing your paragraphs, because that's where a lot of your marks come from in the exam. If you can do this, it will definitely increase your score. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. Please spend time practicing the sentence components. As a final piece of advice, please make sure you practice this a lot. It could mean the difference between a high scoring essay and a mid-range scoring essay. For example, the difference between 6.5 and 7. A good developed paragraph or paragraphs makes all the difference. Or well developed, sorry. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Visit our website if you would like to book lessons with myself. Then visit our website. We also have a Chinese version, so if you are in mainland China and you see this, you'd like to have lessons, please contact us. All the information to contact us is on the website. Thank you for your time and see you in the next video.